2019 Kia Niro EV car review. It's not right that this Kia Niro EV includes not even a whiff in the anticipation that swirled across the Chevy Bolt EV in front of its launch, nor the star selling point of anything Tesla. This electrically small crossover joins the Niro lineup, which Awachi includes hybrid and plug-in hybrid models. The Niro EV is not any phone-eating compliance car but an impressively thorough engineering effort that's painting Kia and corporate sibling Hyundai since the dark horses in electric vehicle excellence. It offers a considerable 239-mile EP range, 1 mile in excess of the Bolt EV, plus more backseat room and nearly 25% more cargo space compared to Model 3. Priced at an amazing discount of roughly $10,000 when compared to the small Tesla sedan, the Niro might well be the EV which the masses needs to be lined up to purchase. It also has no any from the Model 3's cost-cutting masquerading as innovation, for example, controlling nearly everything over the center screen or steering wheel buttons. But, you recognize, the car viewing public doesn't behave rationally. Life isn't fair, and every one of that. Limited market. Kia isn't helping matters by limiting sales to merely 12 states, California and 7 from the other EV states, but neither Vermont nor Maine, plus Georgia, Texas, Washington, and Hawaii. Like Kia, Hyundai also restricts dealers outside those 12 states from stocking its EV SUV, the Kona Electric, and you can order one and take delivery through dealers in every single state. Not so while using Niro EV, Kia won't even permit you to order one beyond the 12-state market. So you can guess, regardless of whether it will be profitable, that quality toughest for manufacturers to have with EVs. Although Niro EVs are Awachi being made in Kia's Hwaseong, South Korea, plant and therefore are en route to U.S. dealer lots, pricing has not yet been announced. But a good bet is because they will get right to the same $37,495 base price because the Kona EV. Plus, although Tesla vehicles no more qualify for that full $7,500 federal kickback, Hyundai and Kia have sold so few electrified vehicles to date that they'll come together with the maximum rebate for many years. The Niro EV emerges in two feature trim levels, X and X Premium. Standard content includes passive entry with push-button start, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto functionality, automatic climate control single zone, along with a host of driver aids, for instance adaptive cruise control, lane centering steering assist, and blind spot warning. The premium trim adds LED head and tail lights, a sunroof, leather front seats which might be heated and ventilated, an 8.0-inch center touchscreen as opposed to a 7.0-inch unit, and Harman Kardon stereo. The same but less wheel spin. Powering the Niro can be a 201 horsepower electric motor fed using a 356-volt, 64.0 kWh battery power, a powertrain combo that may be shared with the two Hyundai Kona Electric and also the coming 2020 Soul EV. The Kona as well as the Soul are dimensionally virtually identical, while the Niro is larger and much more spacious. 7.6 inches longer overall, which has a 3.9-inch longer wheelbase. To accommodate the power supply, the ride height in the Niro EV is surely an inch more than in other Niros, as possible watchily found in the increased gap between its tires and fenders. The need to package the larger battery creates a few compromises. The floor inside rear cabin is raised almost 2 inches. Which pinches footroom beneath the front seat. It also elevates knees, and that is particularly noticeable for tall riders, even though legroom is over adequate and in excess of what the Model 3, Bolt EV, or Kona offer. The driving experience is serene, leading seats cosset, the Niro is quite quiet within the road, and yes, it quells wind noise impressively. There's also not much whine through the electrical hardware. It feels solid, sturdy, and nice. Steering effort on center is usually a bit heavier compared to the small crossover norm, but imparts a feeling of security in directing those pounds. The last thing you will want is dardiness that has a half-ton battery power on board. That's right, the Niro's state-of-the-art power supply weighs a claimed 1,008 pounds. That is what it takes to keep the same quantity of energy as obtained in 1.9 gallons of gasoline. Although it clumps somewhat heavier on its 17-inch Michelin Primacy MX V4S, an upgrade versus the Nexon's how the Kona Electric wears, the Niro is tuned to being more comfortable and much less sporty compared to the Kona. An occasional unnatural body gyration more than a large undulation, as a result of extra mass and non-sporty tune, looks like a reasonable trade-off. Brake feel is okay when the pedal can be used gently, but large or quick stabs show the conventional blend brake non-linearity of the many Regen systems. Less impressive are some with the finishing details. Although there are a handful of EV-specific blue accents, the lining is standard economy car execution. It's not off-putting, but you can find large elements of featureless, monotonous black plastic, a lot of it the cheap, hard stuff. No, the Niro just isn't as quick or as sporty because Model 3, nevertheless it excels for the more difficult task to become quieter plus more refined over textured roads. It's also much less quick since its Kona Electric sibling or as quick to roast its front tires. Although it still delivers that initial off-the-line EV thrust, the Niro's powertrain features a more mature tune that's liable to bring on the power in the more progressive manner. Even with all the traction control off, it will not burn leading tires when they are pointed straight. And it will apartment to be about a half second slower to 60 miles per hour compared to the speedy 6.4 second run that we've measured in a very Kona. Still, it's not a slouch. And yes, it proved plenty thrilled to cruise up near its 104 miles per hour top speed. Despite a couple of high-speed excursions during our few days of driving in Northern California, we had range estimates even higher versus the stated 239-mile figure, aided by range-optimal 60-degree temperatures. Engineering excellence. The Niro also impresses with above and bummed elements such as being the optional cold weather package, including a heated controls plus a battery heater and also a heat pump to the cabin. That last bit is surely an expensive part of hardware, but it really is a vastly more effective way to heat the cabin in cold weather compared to the typical resistive heat seen in everything from your Chevy Bolt EV for the Tesla Model 3. The Niro boasts standard 100 kW DC fast charging capability, which is a lot more than both the Nissan Leaf along with the Bolt EV, although Chevy charges extra for that feature. Hooking up with a 100 kW fast charger, if you find one, can have the pack to 80% in an hour. A 7.2 kW onboard charger enables recharge times over a 240-volt level 2 power of 9.5 hours. Kia also dutifully reports electric power charge time of 59 hours using a household 120-volt plug, although we do not recommend anyone other as opposed to supremely bored test engineer who validated that figure really do that. The paddle games. If you would like to join in on every one of the EV games, you will need to take advantage with the steering wheel mounted paddles. You use them take into account for amounts of regenerative braking, from level 0, that's non-coasting, to level 3, which you'll want to use if you are trying to prevent the brake pedal. In level 3, pulling the left paddle adds additional braking, which is the only strategy to cancel the creep function and come into a complete stop without touching the brake pedal. However, during paddle braking events, the Niro unnervingly drifts backward extremely slightly after looking at rest and simply then ceases all movement. If you're not paying attention or staring for the adjacent roadway like a reference, maybe you wouldn't notice. The paddles afford you the opposite trick. Flicking the best flipper engages auto mode, wherein the Niro will apply regen braking to keep up its distance in the vehicle ahead. While this all is initially involving, the world thinks that, following your newness wears off, Niro EV drivers prefer to have permanent settings to maximize regen and cancel creep to be able to more easily enable on-pedal driving. Too bad so few of those will have the chance to decide that on their own. The Niro EV's winning mixture of price, range, refinement, and small crossover practicality ensures that its worth way more familiarity of computer appears determined to receive.